Yo, what's going on? It's Elusive here. I know what you're thinking already. What the fuck are you doing buying another CRZ? But we are here to explain what the hell is going on and why I bought another CRZ. So as you can see, I just bought another CRZ. This one is a 2011, and it is in black, as you can see. And it's got a cool story behind it. It's a funny story, actually, not really a cool story. It's a funny ass story behind it. So I just bought this car, I think 3 days ago. It's the day after Christmas, so it's December 26th today as I'm recording this. And as you can see, it's really raining and wet out. For some reason it rained. So yeah, so that's the thing. But as you can see, this is the CRZ I just bought. We're going to go over everything about it, why I bought it, why it is the way it is. So the main thing we're going to touch on first is the cosmetic issues. So when I saw the listing for this car, it was listed on Facebook Marketplace, where I buy all my stuff from. But when I saw a listing, he wanted $6,200 for it. It's a manual, of course. This is why I bought it. So we would talk about that again too. It's a manual. So when he listed it, he listed it for $6,200, and he's listed literally in the description saying light cosmetic damage, right? So I was thinking, okay, maybe just a few scratches here and there, whatever. Okay. So when he listed it, the only pictures he took were of this angle here. You see it here, this angle here. And then he took a picture of like this angle here. So really not showing much of the car. And then he took a picture like this. Like this is literally his last picture. It was this, like it's literally just his thumb. So that was fun. So what he didn't mention was, and this was like after 2 days of talking to him, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I hit a deer with this thing. I was like, what do you mean you hit a deer with this thing? And it's like, I was talking to him for like 2 days about it. And I'm like, you just telling me this now? This is like something pretty important, dude. So he hit a deer with it, apparently. And as you can see, why he was listing it, he hit the deer and it hit just this fender here. So the pictures he sent were very bad. Like, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than this, but it was not bad at all from the pictures. Or from the pictures, it looked a lot worse than it is in person. So in person, from the pictures, I thought it would need a bumper. But it does not. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a crack in the bumper. So that is there, but this can be plastic welded. And as you can see, it's really not cracked that much, and you will not be able to tell once it's plastic welded. But it just needs this fender here. So the story behind it was, he said that he saw a deer running out in the middle of the night, and the deer ended up running into him when he was stopped. So I don't know what the hell, dude. Things happen, I guess, in here in Wisconsin, don't happen anywhere else. But that's what that was, and that's why it looks like that. It's not so bad on video, it looks like, but from in person, you can see the rear fender, or the front fender, is bent in. That's why the bumper is like that. The bumper is like 100% fine. I already checked it out. Just got that crack in it, and that's it. And then other thing that is broken is the headlight. You can see here is cracked. So the headlight does not work at all. Just the high beams work. So I got a new I got a new headlight on the way already. It's not that expensive, so we'll get into that soon as well. But other than that, it's a pretty clean car. It just needs this fender. That's it. But from the pictures, I thought I was going to need both. So that would have sucked. So that's why I got a good deal on it as well. And then it also has a little bit of a crack here in the rear bumper. This can also be plastic welded. It won't look as good as the front bumper does, but it'll look a lot better than what it does now. But that was also, he said he backed into a Corvette, or the lady before him backed into a Corvette, so that's why it's like that. Again, this guy was all full of stories, and he really didn't make any sense to anything he was saying, pretty much. So another thing is he didn't tell me before, like, it was literally like, so it was like a day before I was about to go meet him with the car. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, this thing has an exhaust and a cold air intake. I was like, you didn't tell me this before? This would have raised like the value of the car. Alright, I apologize. The other camera died, so we're on the GoPro now for the rest of the video. Apologize for that. Didn't charge my camera for whatever reason. So as I was saying, he didn't really tell me a whole lot of anything. Like, the listing literally just said slight cosmetic damage, $6,200, or best offer. That was literally the entire listing. So everything I got out of him was like the last day as well. So he actually included coilovers with this thing. He didn't have them installed, but he has the exhaust and the cold air intake installed. So as you can see, it's just a little tiny exhaust down there. There's no brand on it, so I'm guessing it's just some cheap eBay exhaust, but it doesn't sound bad. We'll get some clips of that soon. It doesn't sound bad at all. for what I would expect for some cheap eBay exhaust, but it also has a cold air intake, so I'll show you guys that as well. So yeah, it has an InGen cold air intake, and when I looked it up, it's like a $350 intake. So this intake literally costs like $350. Not to say that it's worth that now, I'm just saying that that's what how much intake costs new. So I got pretty much an intake, cold air intake, and then I also got an exhaust brand new for free. So pretty much both installed as well, so that takes it out of me doing it. And it also got coilovers. So he included a set of Megan coilovers. They're a pretty budget brand, but I mean, they're like $600 still. So again, just free parts I got with the fucking car that he didn't tell me about, and now the sun's coming out. Holy fuck, that's bright. So yeah, that's what we got with the car. And like I said, this was the most weird interaction I've ever had buying a car before. Like, nothing was stated between him buying it, for me buying it, to him like selling it. It was like the most weird interaction I've ever had in my life, because he didn't like tell me certain stuff, and then he did tell me certain stuff, and it was just like, it was so weird. It was just so weird. So anyway, we did buy the car. I know what you're thinking, did you really buy it for $6,200? No, I didn't buy it for $6,200. So I ended up picking up this car for $3,800. My only goal was to get it for $3,800. So before I even met him, I got him down to $4,000. So I was already gonna walk away with it for $4,000. But it really isn't in that bad a shape. And from the pictures, I thought I was gonna need a new front bumper and a fender. But from the looks of it, just gonna need a fender. And then the rest of the stuff is just gonna need a little bit of care to get back to where it is. So as far as the interior, the door handle here is a little sticky, but it works just fine. CRZ stuff. So interior, not my favorite. It's that dark gray that all 2011s I believe have. So not my favorite, not very good condition. It's like I'm down on price for that as well. But as you can see, the best part, it is a manual. So I ended up picking up a 6-speed manual finally. So the plan is, so don't get me wrong here, I like the gray CRZ, but I do not like automatics. So my plan here is to switch over the black interior from the gray CRZ I own. And then my goal is to sell the gray CRZ once I do that, because I'm just not a big fan of automatics. So as you can see, the interior is not very good shape. I mean, it's not terrible. Like, the shifter is a little messed up, but mechanically this thing runs great. I'll start up here in a minute here to show you guys what it's like. But like, mechanically it sounded great. So from what I could do and hear, it was great. Other than that, interior, just a little bit of cosmetic damage. The seat has a rip in it. Other than that, it's really not a whole lot wrong. Just average stuff that no one takes care of. Other thing I want to show you guys, this one actually came with the optional navigation. So there was an option from factory to come with a navigation, which is this guy here. I'll show you guys what that is. So pretty much it's just a stock radio that comes with the car from factory. It just says Honda navigation system on it. It's loading up right now. But the coolest part about this check emission system, yeah, I love when this happens. Happened to the other CRZ too. So the system provides all that. The coolest part about this is that it does this. Everything else about it sucks, but it's cool. It does that, and it also closes itself too. I don't know, I thought it was fucking sick, so you guys can be judge of that. But I just gotta check engine light for the check emission system again. That's the stupid cat thing that happened on my other CRZ as well. I don't know why it's happening on this one now, but it is. Another thing I noticed too is the thermostat here, like the degrees. It's supposed to tell you the degrees outside. That's been wrong. It goes up to like 120 outside. This is not internal temperature, it's outside temperature. It goes up to like 120 sometimes. I think it's some sensor up here. I don't know where it is. It's probably in the dash somewhere, I would assume. Or it's outside. That's something that's messed up. So not a big deal, as I have a phone for that, so we can figure that out. But we're gonna start it up here so you guys can see what it sounds like. So as you can see, it's just a little subtle exhaust, not much. And again, the check engine light's on for that. Check VSA system. I checked it, we're good. Check hill start assist. They have a hill start assist? That's a thing? So it's just a little subtle exhaust, not much. it gets a little bit louder when it's fucking on and shit, but when you're on it, but not much. Other than that, really quiet car, even with the intake. The intake doesn't do much for it. Doesn't make it much louder at all. So as you can see, we just got a whole bunch of lights in the dash. That just happened just now, so I don't know. Oh well. But yeah, we're gonna go for a little drive here and then talk a little more about it. But like I said, I bought this as a replacement for the gray CRZ. I don't plan on keeping both, as it would be ridiculous. And you guys saw I already own too many cars, so even without this thing, I already own too many. So we're taking it for a little drive here, and then we'll tell you a little more about it when we're driving along and stuff here as well. Plans, all that. So as far as it goes, it drives really nice. I was really mechanically happy with it before I bought it, so ripped on it a bit too. It's just a fun car. I mean, the automatic version of this doesn't even compare to this one, so shifts really nice, everything like that. And I think it won't really cost that much to repair all the things, but we'll be documenting on the channel here, so you guys will be able to see it. We'll go this way, sure. Apparently this thing has hill assist, which I didn't know about, so that's new. I'm sure you guys can kind of hear it a bit. It's just a little rowdy car. The exhaust isn't really that loud. Even when you get on it, it's not that loud. I just really prefer manuals. That's why I wanted to get this. Like I said, when I bought the gray CRZ, it wasn't like I didn't buy that car to keep it forever. I kind of bought it because I wanted a CRZ at the time. I wanted something to get me farther away. So as it sits now, this car is going to be something that I kind of work on a bit too, just to see what we can do with it. As far as plans for this car, as of right now, just swapping over that black interior, and then from there, I have no idea yet. We're gonna see where it takes me. But like I said, it's just a fun little car, and I wanted to get a manual for a while. I got a good deal on it, so. Now in the beginning, when I asked him about the car, I actually asked him if he wanted to trade, like, because I had the fucking automatic gay one but mine was a 2013. And it had less miles. This one has 157,000 miles. I didn't mention that. So this one has 167,000 miles, almost 168,000. Mine had 154,000. So, like I said, it would have been a better deal on his end because that car is a 2013, so it's got the better lithium battery in the back. It would have been a better deal on his end, but I didn't want to even trade because it wouldn't have been worth it to me. It's just a fun little car. I mean, for what the 120 horsepower it makes, it feels like it makes a little more, I'll be honest. But it is fun. It is a fun car. I had mentioned to him, I said even if you wanted to trade, it would have been kind of silly, but he even told me he kind of wanted an automatic car now. He didn't really want a manual anymore. That's why he wanted to sell it as well. He wanted to get some newer Honda. And it's kind of one of those times now where it's like, yeah, I should probably buy a newer car, but this is what it is now. This is the life. So yeah, I think my CRZ was worth a little bit more than his, as he sold it to me for $3,300. Other things too, I didn't know. Everything in the interior is exactly the same. Like I said, besides the navigation. This one actually has a spare tire in it versus the 2013 up models not having a spare tire. That was weird, I thought, but there is a spare tire in here. Exactly the same sound system as my other one. Yeah, literally the exact same car, literally just different color, manual, and different gear. So this one actually has a different hybrid. Actually, it has a different hybrid battery in the back too. It has the whatever. I can never remember the name. If I remember the name, I put it on screen. But the 2013 one I have has the lithium ion, which is the better battery. It makes the most power, and it charges and recharges the fastest. But in terms of like overall drivability, there isn't a whole lot of difference. The other CRZ has the S Plus button on the steering wheel. This one does not. So that's the main differences between that one and this one. And obviously that one being automatic. So like I said, this could be a kind of a little fixer-upper. Like I said, I know it's not perfect, and a lot of you are probably thinking I'm pretty dumb for buying this. And personally, I don't really care what you guys think, because this is my car, and that's what I wanted to do. So that's kind of pretty much it for the video. Appreciate you guys checking it out. As you guys can see, we got a little bit of a fixer-up on our hands, so we got some videos coming on this shortly. I kind of want to slam this thing. It'd be kind of cool to slam this thing with the coilovers that he got with him. So we're gonna maybe do that. We're gonna make sure obviously everything else works just fine first before we do all that. So yeah, like I said, looking forward to modifying this thing, and then selling the gray CRZ potentially in the future. So appreciate you guys checking out the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I guess, motherfuckers, take care.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful, cause they